We'll move on to our next question in the sort of last 10 minutes of the program, which comes from Paula Esmati. This is a question, Jahangir Saab, she has about what happens after death and when does it happen. She's relating a particular sort of example, but she's asking, does this happen inside the grave once the deceased is buried? She asked this because she went through what is obviously troubling her, that about a month or so ago, a funeral which she attended, and she went to the grave, and she heard someone make the comment that once you are buried, so the person has passed away, has been physically pronounced and clinically pronounced as being dead, that the person is actually awoken inside the grave, and that's when the two angels come and start asking questions. It's troubling her mind because clearly she's been told that, and her simple question is this true?
First of all, we have to remember that these stories are told in a way that it might appear to be very, a very physical thing happening there. But we have to remember that these are things which have to do with the spirit and not with the body. I mean, there are many sects of Islam out there where the belief is that the person actually sits up in the grave, and that therefore the grave has to be made a little bit, spacious, that they can actually sit up so that the angels can come and ask the questions within the grave. But of course, we could argue that nobody has actually gone inside a grave to see that happening. But what we do observe, on the other hand, is people do die outside as well, and their bodies are never found. Now, perhaps some died in the desert, and would somebody be passing by, for example, when that happens, and they haven't, they've passed the period where they should have been buried and they should have gone, do they see the bodies sitting up and, answering questions? Of course not. This is a ridiculous thing to believe. What happens is that there is a kind of a form of questioning, and whichever manner it happens, there have been images given to us that we can understand that Allah has appointed certain angels whose task it is to determine what the person was like, so that that person can be set on the course towards either paradise or hell, depending. But how this happens, it's not going to be at all in a way that we comprehend. The whole question of talking, understanding and all that does not apply in the spiritual world in the way that we understand it in this world. So these are all images. So she should rest assured that whenever her time comes, she's not going to be sat up in her grave in a physical way, because that would be quite frightening, wouldn't it? But on the other hand, she should also draw the lesson from this, that she should be ready for her death. That when the time does come, and the questions are asked in whichever form it's going to be asked, or however that's going to be gauged, that she should have done good deeds on earth, helped Allah's creatures, been kind to others, and to have obeyed Allah in all good things. So if she's ready for that, then she has nothing to fear. Exactly. So it's not something that she should be scared about. That's what I'd like to say to her.